Mr. Stroller, again, are you ready to proceed?
Yes, we are ready, Your Honor.
And Mr. Guy or Ms. Wolfson, Ms. Corey, whoever?
Yes.
Y'all
Yes,
ready?
sir.
Okay. All right, then we'll bring the jurors back in.
Jurors entering the courtroom.
All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Thank you for, you can have a seat. Thank you for indulging us on a little bit longer lunch hour than normal, but we are now ready to proceed. So, Mr. Stroller.
Thank you, Your Honor. The defense would call Randy Berry,
All
B-E-R-R-Y.
right, Randy Berry, please.
Should be right. See in that little room? She just went outside. I think the bailiff went outside, but he's in my room, Judge.
Oh,
I was
he's
trying
in
to
the
catch
little
her.
room to the left.
I was trying to catch her before she went out. They got him. Thank you, Judge.
All right. Good afternoon, sir. Come on up to the front, Mr. Berry. If you just come all the way up to the front, and when you get here, raise your right hand. The clerk is going to administer the oath to you.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you.
All right, sir, if you'll come right around this way for us, the bailiff will show you where to sit. And once you're comfortable, you can adjust that microphone as you need. If you can just be sure and speak directly into it, keep your voice up loudly so everyone can hear you, all right?
Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Stroller.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good afternoon, Mr. Berry. How are you?
I'm doing fine, sir.
Could you please introduce yourself to the jury and then spell your last name for the court reporter?
My name is Randy Warren Berry, B-E-R-R-Y.
Okay. And how do you know Michael Dunn?
I know Michael Dunn. First off, I taught him how to fly airplanes, and we do a lot of inner workings in the aviation community.
Okay. Do you live in that community?
Yes, sir, I do.
Does Mr. Dunn's family live in that community?
Yes, he does.
Is that how you met Mr. Dunn?
Yes.
And when was that?
Oh, around 2000, I believe.
Okay. And how would you characterize your friendship with Michael Dunn and his family?
Very good friends.
And again, you were the flight instructor for Mr. Dunn?
Yes, I was.
How long ago was that?
Probably about 8 years, 9 years, I believe.
You've seen Mr. Dunn in a stressful situation flying planes?
Actually, I taught him aerobatics, so I've seen him in some pretty darn stressful situations.
Okay. And could you tell the jury, describe this community, describe this Aero Club for them, kind of give them a feel of what it's like, how many people are there?
Well, our community consists of 68 homes, 68 families that share a runway similar to like a golf cart community would live around the community. And we do a lot of interaction with each other, and one of the neat things we do on weekends is get together and fly to breakfast and go to certain places like someone would do with a group of motorcyclists or something.
And did that also include my client, Michael Dunn?
Absolutely.
All right. Now, Michael Dunn didn't live physically there, correct?
Correct, his father did.
Okay. And that's how you met Michael Dunn?
Yes, it is.
And how often would Michael actually fly with you guys and be in that community?
We'd look for him every weekend usually.
Okay. And would there come a time too, like even during the week or nights or holidays, families would
Oh,
still get
certainly,
together?
events, 4th of July and many, many other things, social events.
Okay. And Michael Dunn, even though he didn't live there, was still part of that community because of the family setting?
Absolutely.
And is that community a tight-knit community?
I would say so.
And do you have a tight-knit group?
Yes,
Okay. Would you go to each other's house for holidays, things like that?
sure.
Now, with Michael Dunn and obviously knowing his father, do you or have you had the ability to know the reputation of Mr. Dunn for his peacefulness?
I've always thought he was a gentleman.
Have you ever seen or been around it or heard anything contrary to that in this community?
No, sir.
Now, with that also being said, did there come a time where you actually heard when he was arrested
Yes,
about this case?
yes. Actually, I think it was over on newsreel or something. I think I was out of town at the time.
Okay. And did the families discuss that?
Not at that time.
I meant when you guys got together in the community. Was it talked about even with his family living there?
You're talking about the case, or what are you talking about? I'm sorry, I did not quite understand.
That's okay, I apologize. Let me rephrase it. Did there come a time when you learned about when he was arrested in this case?
Yes,
Okay. And that was through the community itself as well?
mostly yes.
Okay. And that would include his mother and father?
Oh, well, yes.
Okay. And was that out of the, obviously, only thing you've ever heard about anything other than him being peaceful was this event?
Yes.
Okay. Judge, I don't have any further questions.
May I?
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, you were close to Mr. Dunn's parents, is that correct?
That's correct.
But you weren't close to Mr. Dunn himself, were you?
Yes, I was. I consider my friend.
Did you socialize with him outside of the air community?
Usually not.
Did you go to parties with Mr. Dunn's friends?
Not with Mr. Dunn's friends, mostly in the
Did you attend
community.
his son's wedding here
Your
in
Honor.
Jackson?
I just only object if Ms. Corey can let him finish the answer, sir.
Yeah, let's just be sure and let everybody finish before we move on. So try not to speak over one another.
Yes, sir. Did you attend his son's wedding here in Jacksonville, Florida in November of 2012?
No, ma'am.
Do you know anything about the events of that evening?
No, I do not,
Do you
other
have
than, basically what I've seen on the public television.
And you don't know anything about the circumstances under which this man shot Jordan Davis, do you?
I know nothing about that, no, ma'am.
I have nothing further, Your Honor.
Anything further?
Just brief redirect. Have you had a chance also in this community, do you go outside this community socializing at a club where they do skeet and things like that?
Oh, yes, we go to air shows and, social events in the state.
Okay. And also, I believe you're also part of a trap shooting club, is that correct?
Yes, called Quail Creek.
Okay, and that would include Michael Dunn himself?
Yes, mostly sporting clays.
Okay. So when Ms. Corey said you don't socialize outside of the Aero Club, you actually do?
Oh, yes.
Okay. Nothing further, Judge.
Anything further?
No, sir.
May he be excused, Mr. Stroller?
So excused, Judge, yes.
And Ms. Corey?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. You're excused.
Thank you.
Next witness.
Judge, we would call Beverly Berry, B-E-R-R-Y.
Beverly Berry.
Thank you very much.
Miss Berry, if you'll come all the way up to the front for me, please, ma'am. And right up to the front, if you'll raise your right hand, the clerk will administer the oath to you.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Thank you.
All right, ma'am, if you'll come right around this way, the bailiff will show you where to sit. Be careful, there's a little ramp there. Watch your step. And get yourself settled. You can adjust that microphone if you need, if you get right up close to it. And it sounded like you might have a soft voice. Just keep your voice up and as loud as you can so everybody can hear you, and just speak directly into the microphone, all right?
Okay,
All right. Mr. Strolla.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good afternoon, Beverly, how are you?
fine.
Could you please introduce yourself to the jury?
My name is,
I'm sorry.
Just a reminder, please.
First names, no.
Yes,
That's,
Mrs. Berry.
ladies and gentlemen, that's my rule. And that is use last names. So,
Mrs. Berry, can you introduce yourself to the jury?
my name is Beverly Berry.
And are you married to Randy Berry?
Yes, I am.
And do you know Michael Dunn?
Yes, I do.
How do you know Michael Dunn?
As part of our community, we live in a fly-in community, and when I moved in with Randy, we met the families there, and Mike was part of that community.
Okay. And would Michael frequent your house?
Yes, my husband trained him as a private pilot, so he was in and out of our house besides the
And
other.
social events?
Yes, social.
So it wasn't just strictly come over, fly, and go
No.
home?
No.
Would you say that's also fair that you'd go over to Mr. Dunn's parents' house who lived there?
Yes, yes.
And Mr. Michael Dunn would be
Was
there as
there,
well?
yes. Many family,
hang on. It is leading, Mr. Stroller.
Ms. Berry, let me ask you this. Have you had an occasion to go to Michael Dunn's house for any type of holiday or social dinner outside of flying a plane?
At his parents' house?
Yes.
Yes, yes. I was new to the community. When I met Randy and moved in with him, I didn't know anybody in the community, and Mike's parents invited me to be part of that community and introduced me to their family, their children, and all the other people in our neighborhood.
And that included Michael
And Mike,
Dunn?
yeah.
Okay. And that was back in 2006, I believe?
Yes.
Okay. Now, again, did you guys socialize outside of just flying planes, meaning the families?
Yeah, outside of planes, there were other events that we did socialize with, yes.
And that would probably, or let me ask you this, is it fair to say, how often did Mr. Dunn come to that community and socialize with the members of that Aero Club community?
How often?
Would you say it would be weekly, anything like that?
Well, we flew to breakfast weekly.
And Michael Dunn would be
He
part
was
of
very
that?
much a part of that.
Okay, that's all I was getting at, I apologize. Now, do you consider yourself close to Michael Dunn's family?
Yes,
Do you consider them to be close friends of yours?
absolutely.
Do you consider Michael Dunn to be close to your family?
Yes, absolutely.
And you as to him?
Yes,
Okay. Based on your knowledge of Michael Dunn in this community, do you know or have a belief of his reputation for peacefulness?
yes.
Okay. And what is that?
Never have I observed anything other than a very calm demeanor.
Okay. And matter of fact, did you ever find out about this case when it started?
Yes,
Okay.
it was in the news.
Okay. And did you also talk to his family about what had happened? Meaning his mom and dad?
Yes,
Okay. And that was discussions in the community?
yes.
Okay. And was that a shock to you, if at all?
Oh, absolutely.
Sustained.
If I could just have one moment, Your Honor?
Yes, sir.
Nothing further. Thank you.
Ms. Core? Yes.
Mrs. Berry, at any of these social occasions, did you all play rap music?
Play rap music?
Yes, ma'am.
No.
Were there any young black teenagers at any of these social occasions?
Your Honor,
Not-
I'm going to object if I can approach.
Sure. Okay, that objection was sustained. Ms. Corey?
Ma'am, did you attend Mr. Dunn's son's wedding here in Jacksonville back in November of 2012?
I did not.
Do you know anything about the facts and circumstances of the arrest that Mr. Stroller asked you about?
Other than what was in the newspaper?
Yes, ma'am. Do you know anything else about it other than that?
No.
You need to answer out loud.
No?
Okay, thank you. Nothing further, Your Honor.
Mr. Stroller?
No redirect, Your Honor.
Could she be excused?
Yes, sir, Judge.
Ms. Corey?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. You're excused. Next witness.
Frank Thompson, Your Honor.
Frank Thompson, please.
For this witness, Your Honor, can we inquire if he may need a hearing device?
Sure.
Thank you, Judge.
Mr. Thompson, if you come all the way up here to the front for me, please, sir. All the way up. Can you hear me all right?
Yep.
Okay. If you'll come right up here, raise your right hand, the clerk's going to administer the oath to you.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
All right, sir, if you'll come right around this way for me, the bailiff will show you where to sit. And you can adjust that microphone as to whatever level you need. If you just be sure and speak directly into it and keep your voice up so we can hear you. And can you hear us okay?
Yes,
Excellent. Mr. Stroller, go right ahead.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Thompson, how are you today, sir?
very good.
Could you please introduce yourself to the jury?
My name is Frank Thompson.
And how do you know Michael Dunn?
I've known him 10 years. We flew every weekend.
And is that also through his father, Michael Dunn's father?
Right.
Okay. Is this in a community where you live?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Is that the same community that Mr. and Mrs. Berry live at?
Yes, it is.
Okay. With that being said, how often did you have interactions with Michael Dunn?
We flew probably every Saturday and Sunday.
Okay. And as a big group?
Yes, 2 or 3 airplanes.
Okay. And would you guys also socialize at each other's houses in terms of parties, dinner parties, holidays, anything like that?
Yes, we did.
Okay. Anything outside? Did you guys go to air shows together? Anything socializing outside of the community?
Yes, we went to air shows, Lakeland.
Okay. And that included with Michael Dunn?
Right.
Okay. Are you aware of Mr. Dunn's reputation for peacefulness?
Yes, very nice guy.
Thank you, sir. Would you consider yourself a friend of Michael Dunn even though you met him through his father?
I would, yes.
Okay. Nothing further, Judge.
Ms. Corey?
Sir, you don't know anything about the facts and circumstances of this case, is that
No.
correct?
No.
Thank you. Nothing further, Your Honor.
May he be excused?
So excused, Judge. Yes, sir.
Ms. Corey?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. You're excused. Next witness.
Yes, Your Honor. Darion Aites, A-T-E-S. Darion Aites.
Darion Aites.
Judge, may I have a moment to talk to opposing counsel?
Yes, please. Be sure and turn off your microphone. Mr. Aites, if you'll come forward for me, please, sir. All the way to the front. Thank you, sir. And if you raise your right hand, the clerk's going to administer the oath to you.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Thank you.
All right, sir, if you come right around this way and have a seat for us. Mr. Stroller?
Thank you, Your Honor. If it may please the court.
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon, sir. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Could you please introduce yourself to the jury?
Darion Aites.
And could you spell your first name for Madam Court Reporter?
Yes. Darrion.
Okay. And your last name for Madam Court Reporter?
Ates.
And Mr. Aites, how are you employed?
Full time.
Where are you employed?
Gate Petroleum.
Okay. Were you employed with Gate gas stations November 23rd of 2012.
Yes.
Were you employed at the Gate gas station where this shooting went for this case?
Yes.
Were you present that evening?
Yes.
Okay, so you had been on the surveillance video?
Yes.
Did you have a chance to watch that?
No.
You have not watched the video?
No, I've not seen the video.
Okay. Do you know, let me ask you, how long have you worked at Gate Petroleum?
It'll be 3 years in April.
Okay. And are you aware that Gate Petroleum has video surveillance inside?
Yes.
Does it also record audio?
Yes.
Okay. And in terms of that evening, were you working, were you over around the cashiers when any shooting happened that evening?
Yes.
Okay. That was roughly about 7:40 p.m.?
I would guess so.
Okay. Would you agree that maybe the video would be the best time frame?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to show you a couple of pictures, and I'll start with defense one. Do you see it up there?
Yes.
Do you recognize that?
Yes, I do.
For the record, this is defense one admitted into evidence. Is that a true and accurate picture of the Gate gas station where you worked at that night?
Yes, it is.
Is that true and accurate of where you work today?
Yes.
Okay. Now, at some point after shots were fired, did you go outside the Gate gas station to help a customer?
Yes, I did.
And what was the purpose of you going outside to help a customer?
The customer had a problem swiping their card.
Okay. When you walked outside, was there any law enforcement on scene?
No.
Okay. Did you actually have any issues going to the over by the gas pumps?
No, I didn't have an issue.
Okay. There wasn't any other shooting, cars trying to get out of there, you had to get out of the way, nothing like
No.
that? Okay. Can I go to defense two, please? Do you recognize that photo?
Yes.
Is that just a different angle to the right of the same gas station where you work?
Correct.
Okay. And would that be kind of a close-up from where the gas pumps would start to the front door?
Yes.
Okay. And is that true and accurate from that evening as well as today?
Yes.
Can I go to defense three, please? Is that just a little bit farther off to the left?
Yes.
Same thing, truthful, accurate?
Yes.
Okay. Defense four?
Mr. Stroll, may I interject for a second?
Yes, Your Honor.
I mean, these weren't taken that night.
No, Your Honor.
I just want it to be clear for the jury that these show the Gate gas station, but obviously you can see it's wet. Apparently on the day they were taken, it rained, so they're not from the night of the incident itself.
That's correct. As a matter of fact, it was also a hazy daylight. It was just truthful and accurate of what it purports to be.
All right, I just want to make sure
That's
it's
okay.
clear that
Absolutely.
it's just a general view
Yes.
of the scene,
Yes, Your Honor.
but not on that night.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
Now, Mr. Aites, as part of your abilities and part of your employment, do you have to take out the trash?
Yes.
Okay. Does Gate have their own dumpsters and trash cans?
Yes, we do.
And if you could, if you touch the screen that you have, you can actually circuit like a teleprompter you see on Monday Night Football. If you can just touch and kind of point like an X or a circle where the dumpsters are.
Using this photo?
Yeah,
Yes. You just touch that screen, sir.
Okay, there's some in this area, a
Okay.
little further to the right,
Okay.
and there's some behind this area over here.
Okay. And at that time, in November of 2012, was there any type of back exit you could walk to get to those dumpsters?
No.
You'd have to go all the way around?
Yes.
Okay. And that is, are you the only one who would take out garbage, or were all employees responsible?
No, everyone was responsible.
Okay. Can I go to defendants 5, please? Is that also just a different angle to a little bit to the left?
Yes.
Okay. Do you recognize the plaza on that far left corner?
Yes, I do.
And is that plaza connected to the Gate parking lot, or does it have a road in between it?
There's a stop sign, and it's a exit where you can go out to the main road, and then you can enter the plaza from that direction.
Okay. And is there also a road that goes behind the Gate gas station to over Bay Meadows?
Yes.
Okay. And can I go to defense 6? Is that a true and accurate depiction in terms of if you looked out from the gas pumps to the plaza on November of 2012, is that so similar?
Yes, it is.
Can I go to defendant 7, please? Is that the intersection that's right there on the corner of, I guess, Bay Meadows and Southside Boulevard?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Defense 8. And defense 9. Is that also just a better angle off to the right to the other side of Southside Boulevard?
Yes.
Can I go to defense 10, please? Now, this is kind of the very front pump. Do you recall which pump you walked to that evening?
Roughly the 3-4 pump area.
Where would that be in relation to this photo? Would it be the very first set of photos or further back?
It would be closer to this area.
Okay. And this is about the right distance from the very first pump to over at the parking spaces?
Yes.
Okay. Defendants 10, please.
That is 10.
Oh, I apologize, 11. I apologize.
It's all right.
Now, this is obviously a very unclear shot through a windshield, but do you recognize that little walkway there?
Yes, I do.
And is that the sidewalk that goes from, looks like one end of the front of the gate all the way to the other by where that ice machine is?
Yes.
Okay. Defendants 12. A little bit better picture, same thing?
Correct.
Okay. And this would be the view, if you had to go out to the dumpster, you'd have to walk this way?
Yes.
Okay. Defendants 13. A little bit broader picture, is that also accurate of the gate gas station?
Yes, it is.
And would that also show if you were out into the parking lot driving in, you could not see over to the other side of the gate gas station?
Right.
Okay. Defendants 14. Now that's obviously a lot further back. Does gate have where you could fill up with air for tires, things like that?
Yes, we do.
Would that be that area over here on defendants 14?
Yes.
So if you were standing there, that would be an accurate depiction of looking out across Gates parking lot, correct?
Yes.
Now, from that picture, can you see into the plaza?
No, you can't.
Can I have defendants 14, please? 15, I apologize, 15. Let's do 16. Another blurry picture. We'll get a better one. But on defendant 16, can you circle where the dumpster is behind gate that you guys use?
Yes. Our dumpster is located right here.
Okay. Now, are there also other dumpsters that gate does not use, meaning it's part of the plaza, not gate patrolling?
Yes.
Okay. And can you even see those in this photo?
Yes, you can.
Can you put a circle on where those are?
Right here, and I believe it's one a little further over right here.
Okay. Can we go to defendant 17? Okay, is that a little bit better picture?
Yes.
And I apologize, I'm not a cameraman. Can you then now circle on where Gates dumpster is?
Yes, gate dumpster is located right here, behind this electrical box.
Okay. And then are those all the, let me ask you this, are those bushes similar to that evening on November 23rd, 2012?
Yes.
Okay. Same thing with the trees, are any of those trees cut down now or gone, anything like that? That you're aware of?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. Are any of those trees there now in this picture that weren't there that night?
Everything that's there looks like it was there that night.
Okay. Defendants 18, please. And is that another dumpster near Bay Meadows?
Yes.
And if you look to the right, that would be the Bay Meadows entrance and exit?
Yes, it is.
And that's the only entrance and exit on Bay Meadows?
Yes.
Okay. Now, is that your dumpster also for gate patrol?
Yes, that's our dumpster.
Okay, so you have about 3 total?
No, we have 2.
2, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Okay. Now, if you went to the left, if you're looking directly at that dumpster, if you kind of drove your car to the left, would that be that back alley that goes around Gate Gas Station into the plaza?
Yes.
Okay. And that's enough for 2 cars to come and go?
Roughly. It'll be a tight squeeze, but 2 cars could go.
Okay. And defendants 19? Is that just a further picture where your dumpsters would be back on the left behind the Gate Gas Station?
Yes.
Okay. And defendants 20? Now again, looking at this, I'll try to give you a better angle. Can you then now circle the pump that you walked up to when you walked out of that store?
Yes. This area right here.
Okay. And when you were over there, you said there was no law enforcement on scene?
No.
You said that or you didn't say that?
I said there was no law enforcement.
Okay. I just want to be clear.
Okay.
Okay. How long were you out there if you can recall?
I don't recall how long I was out there.
Would that be on video though of you walking in the front door?
Yes, it should be.
Does Gate have a video surveillance for the front door?
Yes.
Do they have a video surveillance of Register 1 where you were working?
Yes.
Do they have also multiple different angles throughout the inside of Gate Gas Station?
Yes.
They have about 6, I think, roughly, maybe more?
I'm not sure how many.
Okay. And again, that would all be on video?
Yes.
All right. Now, when you were over there, did you see the red SUV?
Yes.
Do you recall seeing anybody out of the red SUV?
At the time I was in the store, no.
I meant outside at the gas pump.
When I was outside, I'm sorry. When I was outside, I could recall the victim laying on the ground.
All right, so somebody was on the ground next to the SUV?
Yes.
Was anybody performing any type of life-saving CPR, anything at that point when you were outside walking?
To my knowledge, no.
were people standing around him?
That I can't exactly remember.
Okay. But to your recollection, nobody was on top of him?
Right.
Okay. And there was still no law enforcement there?
No, to my knowledge, no.
Okay. And then eventually, again, you walked, what, if you're looking at the photo, would be to your left, back into the front doors?
Yes.
And all that, again, would be on video surveillance of the front door?
Yes.
And then cashier one where you were stationed?
Yes.
Okay. Can I go to number 21, defendants 21? Okay. And is that just a better picture of all of the gas area over at Gate Gas Station?
Yes.
All right. Now, did you have a chance when you were inside the store to talk to Mariah Grimes about what had happened that night?
Yes.
And do you recall, let me ask you this, at some point, did you ever review the video?
No, I never reviewed the video.
Okay. Do you recall any comments that Mariah Grimes would have made to you without saying what they are?
From audio, yes.
Okay. And that would all be recorded on the audio on the video, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Now, do you know how long the video was recording? Did police ever meet with you to talk to you?
No.
And watch that video?
No.
Okay. And again, you said you haven't seen it as of today?
Right.
And you don't recall, and again, don't go into any comments. Do you have any independent recollection sitting here today of what Ms. Grimes may have said that evening?
With the audio, yes.
You'd have to watch it though.
Right, I would have to watch.
Right, but sitting here, what I meant is you don't independently recall sitting here today without looking at the video?
No.
That's what I was getting at. Okay. Judge, if I may just have one moment.
Yes, sir.
Nothing further, Judge.
Cross?
Yes, Your Honor.
Turn the mic off.
Good afternoon, Mr. Aites.
Good afternoon.
Now, it's my understanding, Mr. Aites, that you have been working that afternoon, or excuse me, that evening with Mariah Grimes and Lillian Christensen,
Yes, I was.
and that you were actually the one working behind Register 1, is that correct?
Yes.
So then when you're entering the Gate gas station, that register would have been sort of off to the right?
It would have been the furthest to the right, yes.
Okay, and then Ms. Christensen would have been directly in front of you, correct?
Yes.
And then Mariah Grimes, of course, off to the left?
Yes.
Now, do you remember where exactly you were when you first heard those gunshots?
I was in between there's like a cabinet area where we keep our supplies for the cleanup of the store, and the Register 1. I was in between those two areas.
Okay, and, oops. Mr. Aites, I'm showing you States Exhibit 1. Do you recognize States Exhibit 1 as an aerial of the Gate gas station in that plaza?
Yes.
And in looking at States Exhibit 1, Mr. Aites, can you circle where all those dumpsters were that Mr. Strolla was asking you about?
Yes. In this area right here.
And that's where then both of the dumpsters were that you were referring to in your directs?
Yes, well, the plaza's dumpsters would be further up here. Our dumpster is closer to this area, and the other dumpster we have that's next to Bay Meadows will be over here.
Okay, so they're all, is it fair to say they're all behind the Gate gas station to the right of it, if you're
Yes.
looking at the front doors?
Yes.
Now, Mr. Aites, you stated just now too on direct that when you were outside, you don't remember seeing anybody performing CPR on the victim?
Correct.
And are you saying then too that you don't remember seeing any police officers outside at that point in time?
Well, I don't recall any law enforcement being there at that particular moment.
Was your attention now then focused on the victim, or was your attention focused elsewhere?
Well, I was going towards the pump, and as I was going towards the pump, I happened to look over at the victim, and that's I saw him laying down on the ground, and I just kept proceeding towards my customer.
Now, Mr. Aites, do you remember where exactly he was in reference to the red SUV?
If the vehicle is to the right of the store, then he was positioned to the left of the vehicle, facing the pumps. If I'm
Facing-
walking out facing the pumps, then
Okay,
he
if
would
you're
be-
walking out of the store.
Yes.
Okay. Now, Mr. Aites, I know you stated multiple times, I think, to Mr. Stroller that you had not had a chance to review the surveillance tape.
Correct.
Would reviewing that tape refresh your memory?
It may.
Okay. Your Honor, at this time, State's going to be publishing State's Exhibit 168 for Mr. Aites.
All right. Sure.
That was like so scary. Would you say to look like her? Yeah, look at
Mr. Aites, in looking at this screenshot, can you see where you are?
Yes, I can.
Okay, and can you just, I think you should be able to touch it on your screen where you are, if you can circle whatever part of yourself you see.
Yeah, right here.
And that would be then behind register 1?
Yes, it is.
And then can you also circle where the front doors are?
Yes, the front doors are right over here.
Okay, thank you.
I don't think she is.
No, I'm not, Your Honor.
They're about to drive off to the place. He was shooting? Yes, he was shooting. I saw him shoot it out the side of his car. I swear. Yeah, he went like this, shooting out of the side of his car. Well, he got dug down because I saw the whole thing. That one right there. Wow, that fire was. What the heck? What happened? What was he?
No, I didn't look there. I said I was done. I was shooting.
Oh, well, he was?
He was shooting.
Hey.
I don't know the gun or anything.
Oh, no, I'm just wondering.
I was.
You got it? You got it?
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Right there. It's the truck. It's what they shot at. This part right here. My brown one? No, right there. Okay. 937. BMV.
BMV.
Yeah, BMV. Yeah, I saw it.
You know what state it was?
Florida.
It was Florida State? Okay.
That was it. Okay.
Thank you.
Like, 3 seconds ago. That's what was it? Yeah.
Yeah, where'd that cop go? There was a cop across the street.
Who you shooting at?
Right, like, right.
So I just can't be that way.
I mean, that means when she got in the car and pulled it out. I mean, when the woman, she was with me, she was like, I know him. We had shots fired in the parking lot. The person firing has left, but we did get a license number. The license number is 937 B as in Victor, M as in Mason, B as in Victor. It's part here to be black. The person was, there was a person here inside the store thinking he made a purchase. The person was in the driving vehicle, was shooting a motor vehicle, somebody else. Where's the text?
And Ms. Waldrop, if we could then switch the views. And just for the record, Mr. Aites, were those your legs that were still standing by the woman with the white shoes?
I believe they were.
Mr. Aites, was that you then? Did you recognize yourself as the person who actually opened the front door and
Yes.
let a police officer in?
Yes,
And was that before you ever went outside?
I believe it was.
Okay. One of the last question, I'm just going to show you that photograph again.
Okay.
That's right. Do you know, Mr. Aites, I'm looking at State's Exhibit 1, how high up the gate gas station roof is?
No, I don't know how high up it is.
I have no further questions, Your Honor.
Mr. Stroller? Microphone? I'm getting good at it finally.
Mr. Aites, were you still on scene later when all the witnesses were brought in by law enforcement?
Yes.
Once law enforcement was arrived?
Yes.
Okay. And were the witnesses brought in?
Yes.
The civilians, I mean?
Yes.
Okay. And did you recognize Tevin Thompson and Tommy Storms?
Yes.
And that's because they had been there before?
Yes.
All right. And we finally saw a different view from camera 1. You just saw that now?
Right
What
now?
you were just looking at when you walked in that front door, that was the front
Yes.
door view?
Yes.
And had we clicked on camera 1 or register 1, that would be right above you?
Yes.
Okay, and that's where you were working that night?
Yes.
And that would record all audio and video of what's going on?
Yes.
And we'd hear it as clearly as we did here?
Yes.
Okay. No further questions, Judge?
All right, may he be excused, Mr. Stroller?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Wolfson? Thank you, sir. You're excused. You're free to go. Next witness.
Michelle Reeves, Your Honor. Reeves.
Michelle Reeves.
Oh, just ran out. I knew it was coming.
Ms. Reeves, if you'll come all the way to the front for me, please, ma'am. All the way to the front. And if you raise your right hand, the clerk will administer the oath to you.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Thank you.
All right, ma'am, if you'll come right around this way and have a seat over here for me. And just speak directly into that microphone. You can adjust it if you need to.
Okay.
And speak up loudly so we can all hear you.
Okay,
Mr. Stroller?
Thank you. Good afternoon, Ms. Reeves. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. Could you please introduce yourself to the jury and then spell your last name for the court reporter?
I'm Michelle Reeves, and it's spelled R-E-E-V as in Victor, E-S,
And where did you work November 23rd of 2012?
at Deerwood Cleaners, dry cleaners.
Okay. And can you tell the jury where that is, please?
It's at the corner of Southside and Bay Meadows.
Is that in a plaza across from the Gate gas station?
It's in the same plaza as the Gate gas station.
But there's a little driveway that cuts it off, is that
Right,
correct?
correct.
Okay.
Excuse me.
That's okay. Do you recall leaving that evening?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And did you happen to be in that area at the time where you heard gunfire?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Can you tell the jury what time you left and how did you proceed to leave the plaza that night?
It was approximately 7:30, and as I proceeded out onto Bay Meadows, I went behind the gate where there's dumpsters and stuff behind, in between the shopping center and the gate. Went around to the exit on Bay Meadows, turned right onto Bay Meadows, heading towards Southside, stopped at that red light there.
Okay. So then if you're stopped at that red light, the Gate gas station would be directly to your right?
Correct.
Even though it was night, did you have a clear view?
Correct, yes.
Can I have defendant 7, please? Okay. Is that the intersection where you were parked at or waiting, I should say, for the red light?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And defendants 9, please. That was the intersection you eventually drove through, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. While you're sitting there, do you hear gunfire?
Yes.
What do you do?
I turned around. I heard gunshots and I just looked behind me.
Okay.
Towards the gate.
Okay. And were you close enough to the gate where you had a clear view of the parking lot of the gate?
Yes.
And what did you see?
When I turned around, I heard the gunshots. I turned around to look and I saw a red SUV going towards the far exit in front of where the loop is.
Okay. And would that be where the Old Bay Meadows traffic light is?
Correct, yes.
How long did you work in that plaza, ma'am?
It was about a year I worked there.
And were you familiar with that plaza?
Oh, yeah.
Were you working full-time?
Yes.
So you were there almost every day?
I was there at 7 o'clock in the morning until probably 9, 10 o'clock at night sometimes.
And when you left, did you take that little back alley behind the gate gas station?
Correct.
Is that common for cars to travel back?
Oh, yeah.
And is that so people don't cut through the gas station?
Correct.
So it's not a little secret passage that only employees know?
Right, yeah.
And it's open to the public?
Yes, sir.
Okay. When you heard gunshots, what did you do at that point? Let me rephrase it.
Overruled, go ahead.
At that point, when you see the red SUV take off towards Old Bay Meadows Road, did you drive back to the gate gas station?
No, sir, I did not.
Okay. Did you leave the area?
Yes, sir.
Was it because of the gunshots?
No, sir.
Okay, why did you leave?
We were heading home.
Okay, and who's with you?
Me and my boyfriend.
Did you call 911?
No, I did not.
Did you report it at all?
No, I did not.
How did you end up getting involved in this case?
A police officer came into my place of business and asked if I had seen anything.
Okay, and do you recall if that was on November 27th or 28th of 2012?
Correct.
Okay, and that was at your place of employment then at the dry cleaners?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and what was the purpose, without going into what he said, what was his purpose of coming into the store?
Just to see if anybody saw anything, if we had cameras, and if they worked.
Okay, and did he talk to everybody in the store?
Yes, sir.
I mean, you weren't the only employee.
It was me and one other girl, and we were standing up there when he came in.
Okay, and how long was he in the store talking to you guys?
Maybe 10 minutes tops.
Okay, and did he talk to you a little bit longer because you had actually indicated you saw what you just testified to today?
Correct.
Okay. Nothing further, Judge.
Ms. Wolfson, Cross?
Yes, Your Honor. Good afternoon, Ms. Reeves. When you were at the intersection of Bay Meadows and Southside, do you remember which lane of travel you were in?
I'm sorry.
Do you remember which lane of travel you were in?
Okay, we would be, I'm trying to think, we would be heading north? No. I'm trying to think. North? East? I was going west.
Okay, and you were going west on Bay Meadows?
Yes.
And how many lanes of traffic go west on Bay Meadows right there?
2.
Do you remember which lane you were in?
I was in the far right lane.
And then there would have been a turn lane next to you?
There's a right lane, left lane, and there's kind of, at that intersection, there's like a veer off turning onto Southside.
Okay, so there would have been the veering off lane to Southside, you would have been in the next lane,
Correct.
and then the left lane of travel would have been to your left?
Right.
And Ms. Reeves, I'm showing you State's Exhibit 3.
Okay.
And in this picture, can you tell that that's the intersection you were at right on the edge of the screen to the right? That would be Bay Meadows and Southside, is that correct?
Correct. Mm-hmm.
Okay, and from where you were, you're saying that you were able to see through the Gate gas station parking lot
Correct.
and all the way down in front of the plaza?
Yes.
And that was even though it was dark outside?
It wasn't necessarily dark because at the time it was still a little daylight outside. It wasn't.
Okay, so to your memory, at 7:40 on a Friday night in November, it wouldn't have been dark out yet?
It was getting dark, but it wasn't pitch black where I couldn't see anything. No, ma'am.
Okay. And do you remember how many cars were in the parking lot that night between where you were and where you saw the red SUV?
No, ma'am. I could not tell you how many cars were in the parking lot.
And just to clarify, Ms. Reeves, you didn't actually see the SUV stop, correct?
I did not see it stop. No.
You just saw it heading in the direction of the loop?
Correct.
Okay, I have no further questions, Your Honor.
May she be excused?
She can be excused, Your Honor.
Ms. Wilson?
Yes, Your Honor.
She can be excused?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you, ma'am, you're excused. Next witness.
One moment, Your Honor. Judge, we would call Mr. Ronald Davis.
All right, Mr. Ronald Davis. He's here in the courtroom. Mr. Davis, if you'll come on up to the front for me, please. And if you raise your right hand, the clerk will administer the oath.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? I do. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Davis, if you'll come right around this way for me, please, sir. Make yourself comfortable. You can adjust that microphone as best you need, and be sure and speak up loudly so everybody can hear you, all right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you very much, sir. Mr. Stroller?
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Davis, how are you, sir?
Fine.
Could you please introduce yourself to the jury?
I'm Ronald Davis,
And you- I'm sorry.
D-A-V-I-S.
Yes, sir. And you are the father of Jordan Davis?
Yes, I am.
Okay. After the night of November 23rd, do you recall some of the boys involved in this coming over to your house a couple of days later?
I remember they came over my house a few days later.
Okay. And do you recall it being about 3 days when Tevin, Thompson, and Tommy Storms came over 3 days after this happened?
I don't know how many days it was, but I know it was soon after.
Okay. Would it refresh your, let me ask you this. Do you recall giving a deposition in this case?
Yes, I do.
Would it refresh your recollection to look at it?
No, I think I said at the time that I was shocked that my son was killed.
Okay. Let me ask you this, sir, and I'll refer to page 21, 24 through 25, and then page 20, Your Honor, 1 through 6. Do you recall me asking you?
Hang on, Mr. Stroller. I'm trying to see if I can find it.
Oh, I'm sorry, Judge, I apologize.
I'm not sure that I have it.
Judge, I can approach with my only copy if I can get it.
Well, that won't help you, because you need it. I just don't have that on my computer. Does anybody have a copy that I could use? Sure. I'm not sure where we left off. Why don't you just start over again?
You got it, Judge. And Mr. Davis, I apologize for this, but isn't it true that the three boys came over a couple days later and talked to you about the facts that night?
No, they came over to the house and they talked to me about that they were sorry, and those facts is what they talked about. They didn't talk about the facts surrounding his death. They talked about how sorry they were that my son was killed, was shot and killed, is what they said to me.
Mr. Davis, again, do you recall taking a deposition?
Yes, I do.
On November 21st, 2013?
I'm not sure of the date, but I remember taking a deposition with you.
And you recall taking an oath to tell the truth like you did today?
Absolutely.
And do you recall, again, on page 20, Judge, lines 13 through...
Now we're doing a proper impeachment. He's trying to impeach him based on the answer he just gave. It's overruled.
And that's page 20, lines 13 through 18. Mr. Davis, do you recall giving the answer, they were trying to tell me, but what they were trying to say, I think they were all in shock because what one was saying, the other was saying...
Grounds. Well, that's why I sure would like to have a copy of the deposition before we do these things. And I understand the situation, so, ladies and gentlemen, we'll take 5 minutes. I need you to step in the jury room, and I'll get a copy of this deposition. We'll be right back.